Awesome. Happy Tuesday, everyone. Another hot episode of NetWurk.ai, Inside Network, where we bring you the awesome news and events with AI. This week we are back. Mickey Black, Jennifer J. What's happening, Jennifer? How you doing?
Hey, I am doing absolutely fabulous.
Awesome. So this episode number 4, we made it. Number 4, Quattro. So today
Crazy.
we're talking about the power of personalization. So, and this is one of those things, right? So, Web 1, because they always talk about Web 1, Web 2, Web 3, where Web 1 was like everything was a static website. Web 2 was like, forms and the beginnings of personalization where it could just say, like, when you log in your AOL, it could say, hey, Jen, or whatever, and say, you got mail.
Mhm.
But now, with the advent of AI, personalization has taken it to another level. So we're just talking a little bit about how the experience that is online that consumers are serving up is personalized to consumers today, and just what's the future and how does the AI play a part in that. So yeah, that's today's episode, and I think first topic of discussion is beyond just a hello Bobby, and Bobby being
Yeah.
average Joe or average Bob out there. It's more than just hello. But what are some of your favorite examples of personalization and where it really hits the mark for you?
Yeah, sure. So we're on the cusp of this new AI boom, and the things that we've been talking about is feeding AI information and feeding it the right information so that you have more than just a name, right? It's more than just that, like you said, hello, Bobby. It's about who is Bobby? What does Bobby like? How will Bobby normally respond? What does Bobby need in order to succeed? Like all of those things, and AI has the capability to do that. You just have to be able to provide it with the proper information to be able to do it, right? And so
Mm-hmm.
this past weekend, I was setting up chat bots inside of my Go High Level account, and I'm gonna record a video and put it on my YouTube. But just playing with it, going through the different scenarios based off of what I fed to it in the beginning, how it can just spit out all of this information no matter what you say to it. And it's still a personal touch about who is Bobby? What does Bobby need? The goal is to book an appointment. Okay, I understand your frustrations with this, and that. But if you get on a call, we can help you. The AI has the ability to do that. And I'll share later how a friend of mine encountered a whole sales team AI. It
Wow.
was amazing.
Wow. That's interesting. So, and I'm all for the personalization. I know it goes too far for some people, but one project that was really interesting because you can start out with base level personalization, like understanding somebody's birthday. So if you go into Sephora and you come up, you're a VIP and it's your birthday, you get the free makeup or whatever it is. But being that the AI enables systems and platforms to really
Mhm.
take into account all of someone's history. One of the areas is medical. So a couple of years ago, I worked on a project with IBM, with Watson and Sloan Kettering. So what they did was they integrated AI into the hospital intake. So as you're sitting there and you're waiting for the doctor and nobody's thinking about you, the AI is already thinking about you. The AI is already analyzing your case. And when the doctor comes, there's a recommendation that's output. So he doesn't have to start from scratch or I'm like, oh, who is this? Are they diabetic? Should I give him this? And so the AI is always present, always thinking. and always taking into account a lot of details that, just due to human error, we don't always get. So I think that's an interesting thing, just like um, the depth of that information gathering. And we do a couple of things specifically around personalization because we work with a lot of clients on bespoke campaigns. And one of the things that's interesting is we create what we call a custom knowledge agent. And so when you load your brand information and you talk about your brand to us and we onboard a client, we're keeping all that information in site where if we output, say, social posts a month from now, 2 months from now, 3 months from now, it keeps an account of all that brand information to make sure that your brand is authentic and that your messaging is personalized to your audience. And that's one of the things about our platform where we kind of try and integrate it into what we're doing.
Mhm. Yeah, I really like that. I really like the medical example is huge, right? So if you just think about that for a minute, as you input your symptoms and your what you're experiencing and just say that can decrease wait times. It can decrease the time that it takes for emergency room, just for emergency room visit. You know,
Mm-hmm.
the data that it provided, this person may have a fracture at this level in this limb or whatever the case may be. And now the doctor is just analyzing to ensure that that's correct, and now you're not waiting forever for tests to come back and do this and do this and do that. I think it would even speed up testing as well. So it's all about that data. It, the data is so important. It's a phrase um in the IT world, garbage in, garbage out, right?
Exactly.
So if you don't put in the proper input data, you're not going to get what you need from it. And so that's why it's so important. Even with the AI, even if you're just doing it an email, you still need to feed it the proper information so it doesn't just go off and pull information that's not relevant. And I think a lot of times you see, like with the chat GBT, it'll tell you, check this data. So, like if I ask for quotes, okay, Imma copy that quote and Imma paste it in Google just to see if Warren Buffett really said that, right? So it'll pull those things, but it can analyze what you give it. And I think that's the most important thing that we're missing, is that we can't just give these vague, ambiguous statements and think we're going to get all of this massive information. We have to input the proper parameters and information in order for us to get back what we need.
Yeah, yeah, that is so true. It's all about the input, and as far as you go with the inputs, that's really like you say, garbage in, garbage out. And one of the things that I was really interested in, because I know you do a lot of work with medical clients, and one of the things I was really interested in is similar to the Sloan Kettering example.
Mhm,
How it would be used by home healthcare providers,
mhm,
specifically because they have a database of clients that they use, and whether it be a scenario where, like in certain areas of the country, we've got a heat wave, right?
mhm,
So
mhm,
you can have your platform track who's being impacted by the heat wave and who might have a medical condition and who may not even have access to air conditioning. Like a lot of places don't have access to widespread air conditioning. And so you can keep um, track of your client base in that way, so you know whether you need to be paying more visits to a given client, or you need to send them a package of their medicine or whatever it is. But being able to track your client base using AI as an additional tool to do some of that crunching of the information, because you can't figure out who's in heat wave and know everybody's name, but your platform can do it. Has there been any examples of your clients on the health side using personalization?
Personalization just for the purposes of appointment scheduling, symptoms, things like that. But what immediately came to mind when you said, okay, it's a heat wave in this area and AI can kind of trigger. That's where AI and automation meets, right? And so if you have a database of patients, that's HIPAA compliant, of course. If you have
Exactly.
a database of patients that are in a certain region, well, how they came in, making sure that the data collection is proper, we're segmenting them. We know that they are in this region, in this city, in this town. And if we have the AI watching for these certain parameters, hurricanes, tornadoes, any of those things, heat waves, um, pollen, what is the air quality? Air
Hmm.
quality.
Hmm.
We can have it search for any of those things and then trigger the automation to notify somebody, not only to send a message via AI to that patient, it can send an email, hey, warning, it's a air quality alert. You should stay inside because you have these conditions, right? That's
Exactly.
the perfect use case of how AI and automation meet and can collaborate and work together.
Yeah, yeah, and the data's out there. It's just a matter of putting the systems together and making it work. But the data's out there.
Mhm.
But some personalization, talking about some common pitfalls and concerns. Sometimes you ever have like when you talk about, I don't know, you have a conversation about an iPad, and the next thing you know, you got the iPad ads happening. What you say it, and it happens. So
Mhm.
just talking about in
Yeah.
these times of privacy concerns. How
Mhm.
do you feel about sometimes the personalization in ways in which you don't expect? Do you ever have that happen to you?
Um, because I'm so business minded, I look at everything from a business standpoint. And so when you think about that, right, those are those retargeting ads or those listening ads that help businesses use that intelligent data, which is not new, to be able to show you a tire ad on the side of your email, or you go into a website and all of a sudden and now all of a sudden the tire ads are there, right?
Exactly.
My mom talks about it all the time and she's 95. So she's just like every time we say something, all of a sudden I start seeing ads for it, or she plays games a lot on her tablet. And so she's like, all these ads for this popped up and we were just talking about that. And so it's that personalization that can be used for ethical means and for not so ethical means. And it's just the world that we're in, and we definitely have a responsibility to make sure that we are holding a standard that's ethical and not violating someone's privacy or any of those things. But we'll sit in our house and we'll tell Alexa to play our playlist. We want Alexa to know what type of music we want, right?
Mhm,
Which
mhm.
is personalization. But we get upset when we see an ad that could kind of help us, based off of our personal information. So I think it goes both ways, and it's always going to be controversy around it, as opposed to people just embracing it and saying, how can we take this innovation and use it for the greater good?
Yeah, that's a good point. I never really thought about when you expect it, you want it. So it's like you want the platforms you expect to have it right to understand everything you want. But
Mhm.
if you don't expect it, you're like, what?
You can't have it both ways.
Yeah. So, quick questions. I know, like, man, so much has happened. I feel like so much has happened in the space in the last year. I almost dare to think, like, where do you think we'll be like 5, 10 years out? I've got one thought, but what's if you were to have one crazy prediction? What would be your prediction about personalization?
I think that we are going to be on the cusp where we'll be able to get things done more efficiently, um, and it'll be more concise than it currently is. 'Cause it's right now it's a little wonky, but it's gonna be so precise and on point that we're going to be able to get so many more things done at a level and a pace and a rate that is just going to be astronomical. Um, we again, I keep saying this, we see the proof in movies, we see the proof in everybody always says, "Well, if you wanna know what's happening, watch The Simpsons," which is crazy, but
That's it.
I guess it's true. But they're putting these things out, those ideas came from somewhere, those experiments came from somewhere, and I feel like they're actually happening. We just, they're in beta until it's ready to release to the public,
Yeah,
give us access, right?
exactly. One thing that I think is gonna happen is my prediction. It's around like movies, TV, entertainment. I think there's gonna become a time where the AI is gonna make custom TV shows that will be, say, like just
Mhm,
for Jen. Like it'll just be like because I was looking at this one platform, and what they did was it was like a video platform where they would put in a base level version of the video, and then the AI would make like 10,000 different versions of it, each
mhm,
one just switched up a little
mhm,
bit, and then it would put out 10,000 and serve up 10,000 versions and change it just slightly when it sees, different activities. So if it sees a fall off around a certain area, it might pick it up or whatever. I think that technology is going to get to the point where we could all be watching the same program, but we'll all get our distinct different version. So if
yeah,
like if the AI knows you don't want to spend a long time, your version of the TV show might be 30 minutes. But if
mm,
it knows I like a long TV show, might make mine an hour and a half. But it'll
right,
be like the same TV show, but just like, and if you like a certain character and they know that you'll watch that character more, in
mhm.
your version, that character will be the star. And somebody else's version.
Yeah, that'd be amazing. It would really be amazing because, we all do have our different things. Like we can all like the same show, but it's different reasons why we like it. And
Yeah.
they kind of do that now with like the recommendation, right? Even with YouTube. They know what you watch, what videos you click on, and they recommend more of those shows like that.
Mm-hmm.
So it's there. It's just not evolved like you said. So yes, I like that prediction.
Yeah. Yeah. Because even now, like sometimes they'll make the thumbnail different. So I notice like if I go on my Netflix, they'll have a certain thumbnail. It might be an action guy. But
Mhm,
if my wife goes in and it's the same movie, but it's because it's her account, they might have like the lady. It's the same movie, but they're using a different hero because of who's watching.
mhm. That
Yeah.
it's that learning. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's the learning.
Yeah.
It's the learning. Let me touch on the personalization really quick on the sales AI team that my friend
Yeah.
so she encountered this sales call. She encountered this business that was doing AI with sales teams and lead generation and everything was AI. And so she went to schedule a call. Well, when she hopped on the call, it was AI. Her whole conversation was with an AI avatar. There were no people on the call. And she said she kept saying things to try to throw it, and it was dead. on it, right on it. And it kept saying, okay, you can do this instead of this, which for me will work because trying to push someone into a product, if they tell me, well, my cat just died and such, I'm going to feel that. That AI did not feel that. That AI was like, I understand, but what you can do is this. And she was like, "Oh my goodness." So we're almost there. There are organizations who are taking it to that next level of personalization because if you fill out a form, that form goes into that AI's database, and then that AI knows, okay, this is this person's issues. They're ready.
Yeah,
Amazing. Full AI sales team.
that is crazy. That is crazy. But it's and the takeover is near. The takeover is near. So yes, I mean it just underscores the importance, whether it be from sales, customer service, the personalization strategy is something that all the businesses have to be aware of. What would be one tip that you would have for businesses out there looking to kind of get started with personalization to impact their business?
To definitely embrace it, and I would say look at your current client base, look at your current audience and see what's missing. What could be better? What could make their experience better, faster? What could make them say, "Oh my goodness, I had this amazing experience. They already knew what I needed." Because at some point people want to want you to know what they need, right? They want you to have that. If this is a tip where they want you to have that information, so give it, make it so that they don't have to do so much work. It leads me to one thing, and I'll give a tip for anybody who has high level, which I always tell everybody. There is a button on forms, pages, all of these things that says sticky contact. What that means is if this person is already in the system, they don't have to keep filling out their information. So all they have to do is go and say, yes, I want this, click the button, and they're done, as opposed to filling out information. So that's one level of personalization that you can use just even in your CRM. And so if other CRMs have things like that, turn those things on, make it easy for people.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
that is a good one. I like it. Turn it on.
Mhm.
Because a lot of times you have the data. You've got it in your CRM, you're just not paying attention, you're not leveraging it.
Mhm.
And to that regard, I've got one client who had an interesting revelation about their customer information. So they, like the customer onboarding forms, they used to have a short one and
Mhm.
then they made it longer. I think the initial form was like 3 or 4 questions, but then they made it longer for 20 questions. And they found that the longer they made the form, the more people completed it, and the more people gave quality answers. And he actually asked one client why it was, and she responded, by giving you more information, I expect you to know more about me and therefore to get better service. And I think that's what consumers are expecting. And I think we're okay giving up the information as long as we get better service. So it doesn't matter if your preferences are known, as long as you get the product that takes those preferences into account. And so I think that's the really good point you made in terms of turning those features on because your clients are expecting it, your customers are expecting it. So hopefully that helps a little bit in the whole journey.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. And then just one other tip. If you find people that don't fill out your intake, it's not your audience. It's okay because they were going to be a headache anyway. So you want those people who are going to fill that information out because they understand how important it is. So that is one really good lesson that I've learned along my journey.
All right, all right. Those super dope points you made. This was a good episode. And I think we got a couple of folks in the mix. Just wanted to say what's up to Alex Wright. I see the comments. What's up, Mr. Alex? And then we got Tony. I think Tony Guys, his powerful conversations. Thanks for dropping through, Tony. We are here again every Tuesday, 12:30 on the dot, just to share a little bit about what's happening in AI. Mickey Black, Jennifer J, Inside Network AI. Awesome. Thanks for swinging through. Cool.